Hey everyone and welcome back. Today we're having a look at the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I am of course joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Jordan Green and Jake Priest.
Hi there.
Hello.
Okay, so we did this of course with WandaVision, and we're doing it again now with Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're going to go over all our reactions, theories for the future of the show, and any kind of Easter eggs we come across. So this was a great episode, right?
Starts off with a bang, pretty much. There was a little bit at the beginning where we saw Sam Wilson kind of interacting with Cap's shield, but other than that, it pretty much started off in a big aerial flight fight scene, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, it's really great to see some more aerial combat in the MCU. We've seen some before with Iron Man and things, but when you think about it, we've never really seen Falcon that much in action in the air, or I don't think we have at least.
Yeah, there's little glimpses in Winter Soldier and like the beginning of Civil War, but this is by far, that opening sequence is by far the most like Falcon we actually get to see.
Yeah, so it's really nice to see him take the spotlight for a change and helm an action scene entirely on his own. Of course, we had Batroc back from Winter Soldier as well. He's like the main antagonist for a beginning fight.
Yeah, he survived both encounters. Apparently in the comics, that character basically just shows up every once in a while, has a cool fight, and then runs away.
I'm glad they're keeping it true to the comics there. Very nice.
Jordan, I don't know if you remember, but the Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man on Disney Channel, Disney XD, Batroc always popped up every now and again for just like a comic relief, just like punched in the face pretty much.
Yeah. That joke villain turns up for a bit of sweet comic relief in between proper antagonists.
It's nice that we're getting a lot more, because on WandaVision, we did get one or two characters here and there that we've seen before, but it was kind of very isolated, like it brought in new characters and it was its own thing. But it's nice to see that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is bringing in some more MCU characters, because I did also notice that Don Cheadle showed up as well.
Yes, Don Cheadle appears as War Machine. We were not expecting that, and that was a massive cameo to have hidden, because I'm pretty sure anyway that wasn't announced.
I didn't see it anywhere.
Yeah, me and Jordan's reaction when that popped up when we were watching it, we were just like, it's Don Cheadle!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And he shares a really nice little quiet scene with Sam talking about Cap's legacy and him becoming the next Captain America, which is of course I think Sam's arc for this series is going to be coming, building up to that point. And it was really nice, and I think it was very cool seeing those kind of the side characters of Captain America and Iron Man together, sharing a scene after, of course, they've both left the MCU.
Yeah, interesting that as well, when Sam was doing his speech about Cap leaving and they cut to Rhodey reacting to it, I was thinking the lines could be easily transferred to Iron Man as well, symbol to a lot of people, gone now and everything, and that's probably what's going through Rhodey's mind as a character at that point as well.
Yeah, and that's something we might even get to see explored more in the upcoming Armor Wars series, because that is going to deal a lot with the kind of future, the legacy of those Iron Man suits and Tony. So maybe we'll see him exploring that side as well in that series.
Talking a fair bit about Falcon, how about we switch over to the Winter Soldier?
That's right, guys. Bucky has a character now.
Yeah, it seems as though Bucky has a personality now, which is really nice to see.
It's crazy, after 7 movies, they finally given him a personality. And I like Bucky now. I didn't care for him in the films. And after 2 minutes of him in this show, I'm like, oh, I like Bucky. Oh, he's cool, I like him.
I've always quite liked Bucky, but that's just because I like Sebastian Stan. So it's nice for him to actually get a character arc of sorts, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of him dealing, seemingly at least, with the guilt from his years as the Winter Soldier and the innocent people he killed or people he helped get into power during that time. And we actually see during this time an old man called Yori Nakajima, I believe is how it's pronounced. And we think at first, oh, he's just this cool old guy that Bucky's hanging around with. But we find out through both a flashback and a story that he tells that it was his son was killed by the Winter Soldier many years ago. And there's clearly a lot there about Bucky wanting to tell him the truth and wanting to try and make amends for his previous actions. And I think that's something we're going to see explored a lot throughout the rest of this series. And already some powerful scenes there with Bucky. They're going to do some great stuff with him in this season. I can feel it.
I really like Craig. I think you mentioned it when we were just chatting earlier, but that this, at least the direction for Bucky and Sam Wilson seem to be quite different.
Bucky's feels almost kind of medical with how it's shot, a lot of like straight lines and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And Sam's is very like southern drama, you know, and I think that's reflected in their individual stories at the moment as well.
Obviously, we have the Winter Soldier's theme, which we hear all throughout Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And when we even get shown a scene of the Winter Soldier, like killing people, we get that theme. And then I also noticed when Bucky is obviously Bucky now, the Winter Soldier theme still creeps in a little bit when he's like thinking of some of the stuff he's done, almost like that's still in the back of his head, almost constantly going.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of Phase 4 seems to be entirely about legacy. You know, One Division dealt with Vision's legacy. We got Armor Wars and Ironheart, which will deal with Tony's legacy. This is obviously dealing with the legacy of Captain America and that title, and of Steve. Everything seems to be following on from the last thing, you know, and everything that's happened and all the people we lost during Endgame. And of course, that'll also be true of Black Widow and things like that as well. And so I think that really is like following the legacy of Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier's gone now, you know, it's Bucky Barnes. But it's him dealing with that and like the legacy of those actions, you know.
Just a question as well. Does Bucky ever get a new superhero name? Is he always just going to be the Winter Soldier, or? Well,
they called him White Wolf in like the Black Panther post credits, and I think he adopts that title at some point in the comics. So I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this show it's Captain America and White Wolf. Who knows? We'll see. I do find it interesting that Sam, although he's not able to like save the world anymore, he's gone back to try and like save his family home, you know, and save like his sister's business. I like the idea that even when he's not being a hero, he's still a good person. He's still trying to help people.
And that totally builds into the theme of legacy again. It's a family home, a family business, that family's legacy.
Yeah, I think there's an interesting parallel there between him trying desperately to like rescue this boat, even though it wasn't his, it was his parents, you know, but he's like, you've got to continue that, and him refusing to continue Captain America's legacy and become the Cap. So I think there's like an interesting parallel that could be drawn there, and probably will be as the series goes on.
I mean, I think that's just also an interesting parallel just between Sam's time on screen and Bucky's time on screen as well, because as you were saying, Sam seems to be very much focused on his family, helping them and trying to do what he can, and as we've said before, Bucky trying to work on himself, come to terms with what he's done, and I'm interested to see of when Bucky will join the fight, I guess.
My assumption is that once Baron Zemo enters the scene, that's when he's going to come online, because we get to see like the little book that Bucky's carrying of all the names he needs to like sort out. I did see Baron Zemo's name is on there, so presumably when he enters the scene, probably by teaming up with the Flag Smashers or something like that, that's when Bucky will get involved, because yeah, I did see Zemo's name is in that book. Speaking of Baron Zemo, he doesn't show up, but we do get to see one of the show's other villains, which are the Flag Smashers, which is like this international organization. I guess kind of maybe a little bit like Anonymous.
They do be doing stuff. Yeah, they're robbing a bank. They're robbing somewhere.
Yeah, it seems like it. But they've also got a guy there who's like a big brutey guy who knocks a police officer like flying.
Yeah, he yeets him into a lamp.
And so he seems to have some kind of powers or something. Probably be tied to the new Captain America we see at the end of the episode and how he has his powers.
Whoa, what was that you said, Craig? A new Captain America?
Whoa, Craig, did you just say a new Captain America?
Yeah, guys, there's a new Captain America that we meet at the end of the episode. He has got like a bunch of history in the comics. He's US agent at one point. He does take over the Captain America mantle, and he's also a villain at one point, which we might be seeing in this version of the story. There's a ton of things he could be, and we will definitely dive into those, but I think we'll wait until next week when we get to see a little bit more of him to talk about that.
Well, you can clearly see what Sam feels about it, because there were quite a lot of, I feel like, really nice edits. Like, it kind of zoomed in on his face, so you can get a nice long close-up to see how he was feeling about it. They did like a quick shot of him and his hands just like fiddling, or just you could see he was clearly stressed about it, because he obviously went forward and donated the shield, and they put it in a museum, and now they've gone and done that.
I think this is, by the way, like, kind of probably one of the best looking pieces of the MCU. Like, not only does the action scene at the beginning look great, but like it's just so well shot, and it's every shot in this looks great, and there's some beautiful locations, particularly in Bucky's side of the story as well, with those like that beautiful like Japanese restaurant cafe thing. So there really isn't a lot left to talk about, but one little quick note I did want to make was that Lieutenant Torres, who is Falcon's new like side character, he is from the comics, and in the comics he eventually becomes the Falcon. He takes over from Sam's place. So maybe if Sam ends up becoming Captain America, he could become the new Falcon. We'll of course see, but it would be very cool to have a black Captain America and then a Latino Falcon as well. I think that'd be...
I quite like Lieutenant Torres as well as the new character. He's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, he seems cool. I was a little worried he was going to get like immediately killed off or something, but...
One thing that Lieutenant Torres also stated was just a tiny little Easter egg. But he was saying that there were rumours that Steve Rogers had a big moon base and was watching everyone. And I really like that, because that was, of course, just a little like Watchers Easter egg. And we saw the Watchers in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as well. Stan Lee was kind of confirmed as being a Watcher himself.
Are we to presume Cap is dead?
I think Cap's alive, but he's like, it's a secret where he is, because you don't want to be bothered, because he's kind of just left it all now. He's
fucking Sharon Carter.